Ah, summer. The flowers are blooming, the bees are buzzing, but the lawn's looking a little thick, so let's give it a trim. We could use this, the Challenger cylinder lawnmower, hand-push powered with a respectable 30cm blade width. Or this, the Bosch Rotac 320, an electric mower with an impressive 32cm width. Or maybe this, a racing lawnmower with a 389cc single-cylinder Ford Honda engine. And well, yeah, it's quick. That's 13 horsepower quick. I mean, it doesn't even cut the grass. And you can race them here. Welcome to the greatest show on turf. Lawnmower racing isn't for the faint of heart. Meet the team that's going for gold. This is Dan Jones. He's the fast one.
I'd like to think I'm a good racer. I'm a fair racer, clean racer.
Then there's Colin Clegg. He's the reliable one.
I'm probably known not for my outright speed, but when it gets really bumpy and really gnarly, that's when I come into my own.
And the final driver is Dean Fuller. He's the consistent one.
I like to think I'm somewhere between the two of them, so consistently quick, I like to think.
And of course, don't forget Jason, the mechanic.
There's no rivals at all for me as a pit crew, but on the track, they're all rivals.
Together, they make the Who's Racing team.
So the lawnmowers that we race don't cut grass. Originally they would have had to have cut grass, but we modify them to race them. We take the cutting blades off for health and safety reasons, obviously.
These monster mowers are quick, 50 miles an hour plus quick.
As they often say, motorsport is dangerous. There's nothing here to keep you strapped in. So if you come off and you're going fast, it's going to hurt. Over the years, I've seen broken arms, collarbones, shoulder blades, ribs, legs, ankles, yeah, you name it.
You might be wondering, why would anyone race on a lawnmower? Well, let's do a real quick history lesson. Lawnmower racing started back in 1973 by an Irishman called Jim Gavin and a few of his mates. Like any good idea, it started in a pub, here at the Cricketers' Arms in Willsborough Green, England. Jim was involved in rallying at the time and was getting sick and tired of sponsors sinking their teeth into the sport. He wanted to create a form of motorsport that was cheap and accessible to everyone. A few beers later, the lads realised, hey, we've all got lawnmowers. No one would ever want to sponsor something like that. Why don't we race those? And so they did. And at the first event, people actually showed up to race. 46 years later, the British Lawnmower Racing Association is stronger than ever. The lads will be entering into one of the hardest, most grueling endurance races on the planet, the 12-hour lawnmower race.
So the 12-hour race is really the pinnacle event of the year. Expect to have around 50 teams turn up. That's 3 drivers per team.
They race from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. That's 12 brutal hours of racing, going 50 miles an hour through the dirt and mud, in the dark, on a lawnmower. A lawnmower!
There's lots of difficulties. The main obvious one is being at night, the track getting bumpy. The track's constantly changing throughout the night as well. To win this 12-hour race, for me, is the ultimate. It's just the pinnacle of racing, you know. If I was to win this race, I'd probably cross the line in tears. I've always thought to myself, maybe I'd retire after that, just finish on a high. This is the one I want to win.
Just like NASCAR and Formula One, there's a qualifying session.
So we just had qualifying, working our way up the leaderboards. Quite a good session actually, it was going really well. Coming to the last corner before the pit straight and got flagged down to be told the mower was on fire. So as we can see, it's singed the trousers, burnt all the seat base, all the electrical wiring looms all been burnt out. Back in the pits, get it prepared. We've got a few hours now before the race, so see if we can get it back out there.
In the middle of everything is this, the green beast.
The lawnmower we're going to be racing with, it's had the front end steering modified. It's still got an original lawnmower engine.
The only thing you can take out of it is the governor, which controls how high the engine revs. That's all you can do to the engine. We strip everything away, so we're just left with the chassis, and then you build the front axle to something that's stronger, that can take the punishments.
And then the gearbox has been replaced so it doesn't blow up midway through the race.
We have to use lawnmower tyres. I think the whole idea is that it doesn't matter if you've got millions of pounds. It's not going to make any difference. Yeah, it's all about how you build the mower and how you race it.
"48 mowers get through qualifying. Now it's time to line up on the grid, each ready to mow down the opposition." Sorry, I just couldn't resist the pun.
For me personally, the start of the race, I just get butterflies, nervous. You're stood on that start line, your heart's in your mouth, your knees are shaking.
Always got to rely on that the machine's going to start when you press the button as well, and 9 times out of 10 it won't.
You've got your racing head on, you're focused on your corners, on who you're overtaking, and the adrenaline kicks in. We do about 45-minute stint roughly, then we'll come in, change drivers, change fuel, second driver on, and away we go.
Crikey, that's my first stint, so it's not too bad at the moment. It's a bit slippery in places still, but it's not that bumpy yet.
You're starting to see the quickest lap as the race come in. The track's sort of getting pretty well bedded in.
After an electrical issue, the mower was forced into the pits. The Who's Racing team slips back into 27th place.
Come flying down the pit straight, all seemed okay, out the first corner. All of a sudden we lose all the lights on the front, can't see a thing, so I've had to do a whole lap in the dark, come back in. We've now been trying to rush, put new lights on to get back out there. It's all kicking off our track, there's another mower that's catching fire. Chaos at the minute, but we've got lights back on and we're back out there trying to push on. When the sunlight starts to come back up and you can see the state of the track, that's when it hurts, and that's when you start to feel really tired.
The final few hours of the race saw them chasing down the team ahead of them, the Grass Bandits. But at 8 AM, the race comes to a dramatic close. The lads finish in 14th.
I'm done, and I gave everything. I need sleep now, a beer and a sleep.
The Best Western team bring home the trophy after coming back from 43rd place. Just shows that anything is possible in lawnmower racing.
I can't express what it means. I cannot put it into words. It means so much.
I say, but the best bit is 8 o'clock in the morning, everything stops, everybody shakes hands, has a hug, and then everybody switches the engines off, the generators off, and it just goes deadly quiet. And that's the best period.
So Who's Racing team, same time next year?
No. Yes!